I gave you guys like a compliment. So.
You did? What'd you give to before you met him?
She said you guys have great six-packs. So.
Oh, that is a huge lie.
Yeah.
That's a terrible thing to say.
You'll never know.
Hey, so while we're starting, just real quick, first and last name and position on the production, clearly so that the transcriber can differentiate the voices.
This is Jed Elinoff. I'm one of the writers of the Banana Splits movie.
This is Scott Thomas, and I'm the other writer of the Banana Splits movie.
Perfect, thank you.
We're very easy to differentiate. Scott's baritone is hard not to fall in love with. So good luck to all of you not doing it.
So, what made you guys decide to write a Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
Oh, I had to have, and finally somebody brings it up. It's not a Five Nights at Freddy's.
Well, no, I actually got a more serious question. Is that we have like a certain kind of cultural zeitgeist right now, where people that grew up with this kind of cutesy animatronic age are now aging into adulthood, and they want to be able to share their love for horror, but also this bridge into the world of kids. I mean, Critters is very similar. Is that that's the movie that we found as kids. So tell me a little bit about that, about bridging that gap for the modern.
Well, I will say the sort of the inspiration from this, Blue Ribbon Content, the production company behind this, they called us up and they said, hey, we have this IP, we have the Banana Splits, we want to do it as a horror movie, and we just immediately went, that makes total sense, because if you take these kids' characters and you change the soundtrack to the theme from Halloween, it immediately becomes creepy. So we knew exactly what we wanted to do with it. We really did think a lot about, we knew that the Banana Splits were basically going to have a moment where they were going to snap, they were going to become murderers. We thought about what's in that suit. Is it some sort of evil spirit? Is it the actual guys who play this that have just gone crazy? And we wanted it to focus more on the characters and on the kids sort of who come to see this show and the families that come to see this show, rather than a group of maniacs and so what we ended up drawing inspiration from was actually the original Westworld movie. We just kept thinking of that all those shots of Yul Brynner walking down those hallways as this sort of robot that was built for pleasure and for fun and for to have fun and do something good, and just went crazy. And so we just kind of had that in our head, and we went, what if the original Westworld movie met Yo Gabba Gabba? What would that be? And so we really, that's why we really set this movie in the world of kids TV.
And I think, speaking to what you were asking about, this is 100% the kind of movie that you should discover as a kid. I mean, it's not for kids, it's rated R, but it's exactly the kind of thing that you get into before you should. I don't think there's really, honestly, other than gore, there's nothing objectionable in it, to be honest. And I think that it's the kind of thing you discover, you watch, it feels a little bit more dangerous than it should, and it's exactly like those kind of movies you're talking about. I mean, it's gory and it's a little scary, and it's exactly what you're mentioning. So yeah, that's a great thing to be able to do. It's a really fun thing to be able to do.
Yeah, definitely.
Process.
Yeah.
Most movies have one brain screenwriter, but when you're working in a partnership, how does it go when you're trying?
Well, I mean, Jed and I have been writing together for over 15 years. We have actually done a lot of work in kids TV. We've run 4 kids shows for Disney Channel, for Netflix. So we're very familiar with this world. And the way we work is we just talk it out loud. We knock this idea around. We talk the dialogue out loud.
It's really annoying to listen to if you're not in the room with us. I mean, if you just hear it through a wall. It's 2 of us talking back and forth, and nobody gets their feeling. It's just he says a thing, I say a thing. We just banter back and forth, and nobody gets their feeling. It's been so long. We don't get our feelings hurt. We do this all day long.
But it also helps because we're challenging each other as we go. So we always sort of challenge each other's ideas, and in that way, we feel like we're just, the end product is even stronger because we've been sort of pressure testing the whole thing as it goes.
But it's a lot of very quiet arguments. Well, I think we should do this. I think we should do this. I think we should try this. Maybe we try that thing I said a few more times, and then eventually
throw a desk over.
one of us gives in and puts it in.
That's right.
Knowing that you used to work on kids shows makes this movie so much darker.
Oh, it's so dark.
4 different kids shows, and now you'll see.
Yeah, it's so dark. There's so much of this that like every person in this is from something. Every person in this is real, and the worse their death, the more we hated them because the worse they were to us. So everybody in here's got something.
No, it's like, well, because, kids TV is really fun to work in, and it's obviously, I have kids, it's really fun to make shows that they can watch and enjoy, but it's a business. And with any business, especially, and these are adults running this business, and a lot of them, some of them are very insecure and take that out on other people. And so we kind of took some of those less ideal moments from our experiences and sort of channeled them into this, and went, okay, what if we had some of those jerks in this movie, and then these robots decided to kill them?
So I guess we're saying the Banana Splits movie is a deeply personal look.
Yeah. You guys are breaking the story on people in Hollywood sometimes being insecure assholes.
That's right.
Yeah, right?
See?
Yeah, I don't know,
You've
like
never
you heard it here first.
Heard it here first.
Exclusive.
Now, the movie lends itself to a continuation, so how do you think, do you set it up that way, or do you think, is there intention for it to carry on?
I think always, everybody wants another job, right? But I think, we definitely wanted to leave a door open. I don't think we expected the response that it's getting, which is amazing. The love, the hate, it's been incredible,
I do think that we set it up. There are some things that happen with certain characters in the movie, and even with some of the Banana Splits, that sort of allow us to then, if we were to do another one, I think really even make the relationships even more complicated. And there is some redemption in it. I don't want to spoil anything, but it is there's the splits were bad. They were good and then bad, and that doesn't mean that they can't be pulled back. So I think that a sequel would be really fun to sort of the fight for the soul of the Banana Splits, to get them
If
back.
you want to tell Peter that'd be great.
Yeah.
Like, if you guys want to mention that'd be awesome.
I would like to see how Harley deals with it, because he's so obsessed with Banana Splits, and I get that as a fan of
Right.
as a genre fan.
Sure.
I understand that, and to have that love broken, to see how he would cope with that would be, and then obviously have to face them again, would be fascinating.
It would actually. You're right. That's I hadn't really thought about it that way because it always felt more like a forced maturation for him in a lot of ways. Just to like kind of watch your heroes die is this horrible thing that you come out the other side. Heartbreak is part of getting older, and I think that's how I always saw it. But I certainly never thought of it that way, and I think that would be great to kind of deal with the aftermath of watching your heroes turn on you.
Where does he go? Because that's obviously just such a big part of his life. What does he have left?
Well, and it's sort of the end of your childhood when you realize that these things that are supposed to sort of, that the world isn't all good, and that even the things that are supposed to be safe aren't. So I think that if we met him in a sequel, he would be, sort of a more cynical kid. Another movie that we kind of pulled inspiration from was the original Child's Play, and it's the same thing. It's this, he gets this doll that's supposed to be this loving, amazing thing, and it starts trying to kill his family and stick a serial killer's soul in his body. So I think that what happens to that kid? It's you would definitely become much more cynical.
Is there another franchise that you'd like to take and turn?
There's another property they have that I won't mention here, but it's actually not a horror thing. It's a really sweet sort of coming of age friendship story.
And it's totally unexpected. The franchise, if we told you what it was, we can't. I wish we could. We can't. If we did, you would be like, what?
It's HR Puffin stuff.
It is.
not,
You got it.
yeah.
I can't tell